Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the gentlelady from Indiana for yielding me the customary 30 minutes, and I yield myself such time as I may consume. Mr. Speaker, this rule would bring three measures to the House floor. First, H.R. 5933, the Deterrent Act. Look, Democrats and Republicans agree there ought to be transparency if higher education institutions get money from foreign countries. Thankfully, President Biden has worked to improve compliance with existing laws. And because of that, over $1.5 billion more per year have been reported publicly under this president than the prior one. But instead of working together and building on this progress, Republicans are trying to advance this bill that adds onerous new reporting requirements, making it harder for our academic institutions and researchers to remain number one in the world. The second bill here, H.R. 4468, the Choice in Automobile Retail Sales Act of 2023. This bill blocks the Environmental Protection Agency's authority to finalize a car emissions rule protecting Americans from motor vehicle pollution. The message House Republicans are sending here is pretty simple. Yet again, they are putting polluters over people and picking winners and losers in our transportation sector. Over 100 million Americans live in counties with unhealthy air pollution, with children, the elderly, low-income communities, and communities of color being disproportionately at risk. Air pollution is associated with over 100,000 premature deaths in the United States every single year. So the health impacts of rolling back these standards are bad enough. Frankly, it's outrageous that this majority continues to actively fight against innovation and against lower energy costs and against the private sector making decisions based on what people actually want. The reality is that EVs are already popular. Americans' demand for EVs is largely outpacing supply, as demand has increased by over 350% in just the last few years alone. They're also cheaper to own, decreasing fuel costs by 50% or more. And ongoing technological advancements are translating to better options for consumers every year. But I must point out that when Republicans oppose our investments in American EV manufacturing, they are actually advocating for American industry to stand down. Rather than conceding ground to local adversaries like China, Democrats, we want to invest in America's ability to compete and beat our economic competitors. So for all these reasons and more, H.R. 4468 is a bad bill that denies Americans immense public health and environmental benefits of the EPA proposed standards. And finally, we have H.J. Res. 88, a bill that would block the Biden administration from implementing a new income-driven repayment plan to help save borrowers money. Look, I want people to listen carefully to me. President Biden tried to create a new plan to reduce people's student loan monthly payments. And Republicans want to stop him from doing it for no other reason than they don't care. They literally do not care about this issue. It seems that Republicans are willing to stop at nothing to prevent hardworking Americans from getting student loan relief. And this is just another attempt to attack the Biden administration for addressing the serious financial concerns of low and middle income student loan borrowers. The best thing about this bill, the only good thing I can say here, Mr. Speaker, is that it failed to pass the Senate. In other words, this bill is going nowhere. Another wasted week for America, Mr. Speaker, courtesy of this Republican majority. And today, three more bills that do nothing to make life better for anyone. Republicans want to increase the cost of student loans for workers and families and make it easier for big oil CEOs to pollute our communities. That is their agenda. They have been a total and complete failure, the least productive Congress in history. The most rules failed in a single year, dragged our country to the brink of default, almost shut down the government twice, wasted weeks and weeks fighting about which one of them should be Speaker. Bill after bill, amendment after amendment to ban abortion and attack LGBTQ people. Now they want to impeach the president when even their own members say there's no there. You guys are doing a lousy job, and it shows. And the only good news is that you're not going to be in the majority after this next election. I'll be voting no on this rule, no on the underlining bills, and with that, I reserve.